morning, iFam. How's everyone doing today? I hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful day. I've just woke up, not gonna lie. Rolled out of bed, looking like this. We've got friends coming over today. We've not seen these friends in a while, and it will be nice to just have a bit of a catch up and just not have to worry about vlogging, basically. So I thought instead of like a usual daily vlog, I'd do a get ready with me, chit chat, pregnancy update, ask a few questions on Instagram, answer a couple of those, show you what products I'm using currently. Just basically a get ready with me chit chat. So yeah, let's go clean this face. I got a shower last night, I got a bath last night and then a shower afterwards. Does anyone else like to just quickly rinse off in a shower when they've had a bath, especially if they've had like a load of products in the bath? I don't know, I always like to rinse off in the shower. I usually wash my hair in the shower. I didn't wash my hair last night. Pregnancy's been kind to me with my hair this time. My hair does feel in much better condition and I am washing it way less than what I usually do. My hair's usually greasy after a day, so it's like every other day my hair needs washing, but it's not been like that this pregnancy and I've been loving it. Anyway, let's go start getting ready for the day. The only thing about doing this is I don't actually have anywhere to put you guys whilst I get ready so we can chat. Be down here. Ignore the toothpaste on my t-shirt. That's from last night. Okay, I think I've found a spot. It's not very straight, but it's gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to bend down as well, but that's not such a big deal. Anyway, first up, toothpaste. You can get these toothbrushes and the toothpaste in Home Bargains called White Glow, and they're the best toothbrushes in the world. Like, honestly, they just make your teeth feel so good after you've brushed them, and I always go back to these. Even if I've tried like an electronic toothbrush, I always want to go back to this one. I don't use the toothpaste from it anymore. We've actually just switched to, well, not just, but quite recently switched to a fluoride-free toothpaste. There was a few reasons we switched to fluoride-free. I just did a lot of research, basically, on the toothpaste after seeing a notice on the back of one of the children's toothpastes saying, I think it was on Mila's and Jace's, just saying if your child intakes fluoride from any other source to contact medical advice. Well, there's fluoride in blooming loads of foods and there's fluoride in like water. So I was like, so you're supposed to... Anyway, it led me down a path of researching fluoride and I didn't like what I found. And yes, it does prevent tooth decay. And yes, it's okay if you want to keep using it. This is just personal for me and my family. Also, has anyone else had this? Because I definitely get it and Esmé also gets it. After brushing my teeth with a regular toothpaste with fluoride in and all the other chemicals and things that are in the toothpaste, it literally takes the skin off my mouth. Like about 20 minutes after brushing my teeth, I have the most disgusting, I can only describe it as like slimy substance in my mouth, like down there and up there. And then I realised that's blooming, it's taking the skin off the roof and the sides of my mouth. And Esmé said, that happens to me as well. So I was like, yeah, that's not great. So I don't really want that to keep happening. And also, Mila, she's terrible at swallowing it. Like she struggles to spit the toothpaste. She spits, but after she swallowed it. So she'll swallow it and then she'll go, P. I'm like, yeah, that's not great. And then I was thinking, like, if that's doing that to my inside, to my mouth, what could it be doing to her insides? And before anyone says babies too, if you do a quick Google search, just really quickly now yourself, what's the difference between adult and children's toothpaste? It will say there's less fluoride. It's a lie. It's a lie. That's why if you're researching anything, don't just do a quick Google search. You have to properly spend time diving into it because the things that it brings up straight away are what they want you to know, want you to think or read. But if you actually dive a bit deeper, you'll see that, for example, go to Colgate website. Go to the Colgate website and type in 3-year-old toothpaste. It'll bring up the 3-year-old. Scroll down, look at the amount of fluoride in that toothpaste, and then go to an adult one and look at the amount. It's like 1,400, I can't remember the units they measure in, but it's exactly the same. There's exactly the same amount of chemicals and fluoride in adults' toothpaste as there is in 3-year-olds' toothpaste, despite the fact that it says on Google there's not and there's much less. The only difference is the flavour. Anyway, there's my little rant on why we've changed to fluoride free. If anybody knows, I did a lot of research as well on which is the best fluoride free, and this one came up really recommended. Jason Mila have. It's the same, just the children's version. But if you guys switch to fluoride free and you guys know of any other toothpaste that's better, comment down below and let me know. Teeth done. I'm just going to cleanse, tone and moisturize today because when I got in the bath last night, I did like a full facial routine, a full face routine basically. And I don't like to exfoliate every day because it just makes my skin a bit dry. But if anyone's interested, this is my favorite exfoliator. It smells so blooming delicious and it always leaves my skin feeling so like clean and smooth, like properly smooth. I absolutely love it. None of these products in any of this video are an ad, by the way. I bought all of these products myself. But yeah, that's a really good exfoliant. It's actually almost gone. I need to get some more of that. Cleanse it. All my products are Esmés. I found them a couple of years ago and I love them. I love how they make your skin feel, and it's like the best I've found. So I do use a few different products, but they are all from Esmés. So a few of the cleansers that I use, this cleansing balm, it's not my favourite, I've got to say. It's not that it makes you, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing like when I'm using it, I feel like, oh, I wish it didn't smell like that, or it's left my skin greasy, or there's nothing wrong with it in that sense. I just prefer foaming cleansers that make you feel like you're properly having a good wash, if that makes sense. And these balms, they're really good, but they just feel a bit like oily and greasy on my skin when I'm using it. They don't leave your skin feeling like that. It's just when I'm using it. So I do prefer to use this one, which is my favorite. It's the Superfood cleansing foam, and it's just so nice. It's like it's got a really nice scent again, and it's just really, I love how it foams up on your skin. I used that one last night. And then I recently got a new one. It's this sensitive cleansing wash, and this one's also really nice. It doesn't foam up quite as much as the Superfoods one, but it does still give you like a nice, I'm gonna use this one today actually. It does still give you like a nice lather. We'll call it a lather. So I'm gonna use this one today. Bit of warm water on my flannel. I did buy some really nice Esmés flannels, but Chris used them in the kitchen as dishcloths. I wasn't impressed. So I'm back to using my 29p home bargain ones, and I'm not gonna lie, they're brilliant. 29p for a face flannel, and with the amount that I use them, which is every single day and evening, you don't mind buying a few, so that when the others are in the wash, you've still got one to use. Right, damp your face. Damp your hands, bit of cleansing foam. Oh yeah, so nice. You see, this doesn't lather up as much. The Superfoods cleansing foam is like a blooming bubble bath on your face, and I love that. Oh, it feels so nice. And this one smells really good though. I'm having to do all this bent down. Just use Chrissy's tap. Why am I trying to squeeze myself on this one? And then I always pat my face dry after cleansing with a fresh flannel. Don't ever rub it, you should just pat it. And then I'm going to use a little pad and some of this hydrating toner. Love this toner, I've gone through so much of it. You can just spritz it on your face, or you can apply a bit to a pad and just rub it on. That's what I prefer to do. It smells so good. It smells like a spa, or like a spa with tea. Spa with cream tea, but just the tea, not the cream. That smells really good. I really like it. Just gonna give that a few seconds to dry, and then last of all, I will apply this, which is my favorite moisturizer. Chris moans at me every time I buy it because it is expensive. I do wait for it to come on sale, but he still moans because it's still expensive. But then he uses it all. So I have to buy this more than I'd like. But yeah, he literally moans every time I buy it, but then it ends up in his toiletry bag and he just uses it every day. I'm like, why can't you just buy your own or buy like a similar one? No, he wants to use mine. Yeah. If it was nighttime, then I would also use this Elizabeth Arden 8-hour lip protection. It's so nice on your lips. I'm really fussy with lip balms. Creams, I don't like them. They make my lips feel all slimy and soggy, but this one's actually really good. And I do apply this. I don't know why I apply it before bed. I just do. I apply it for bed. It's not for bed. It's not like a bedtime one. But excuse me. I just apply that every night before bed. Also really recommend these facial wipes. So good. Smell absolutely divine again, like all Esmés products. And they just leave your skin looking and feeling really good. Definitely just spent 10 minutes looking for my deodorant. I don't know who's brought it in here, but if anyone's interested, this is the one that I use. I usually just order it on Amazon, and it's really good. It's a really good one. So despite me quite liking some nice skincare, I actually make up for it on the makeup front because my makeup's so budget and so cheap, and so Mila's been in here because she is definitely Mila Rosabelle. Who did that? Now, who did this to Mama's makeup? Who did that? Was that you? She's like, definitely dug a finger. Yay! Was that you? Mine. No, this Mama's. That window is just really, really annoying. See if I can move it around a bit. Scary door, close it by itself. I'm only joking, that was Esmé. Right, so I definitely make up for it on the lack of expensive makeup because my makeup bag is so budget. I need to clean it up. Mila's been in and she's scraped all of that powder stuff out, and now everything is complete, like everything's covered. That's a bit more expensive. Everything else is like high street bought, and the same products that I've been using actually for the last 20 years probably. Everything needs cleaning. Oh my gosh, it's so bad in here, guys. Look at this. This is what pretty much all my makeup inside is looking like right now. Is that the one that, oh my god. Lipstick lid's off. Oh, fingernails. Right, I can't use these like this. I'm just gonna clean it all. Oh my gosh, Mila. I just said to you guys, didn't I? I just spent 10 minutes looking for my deodorant, and I then spent another 10 minutes looking for my makeup. Has anyone seen my makeup bag? Because I always leave it in here, like it's always on my desk. And Chris was like, no, I've not seen it. And I was like, well, where is it then? He's like, I don't know. Why would I know where it is? I was like, well, it's always on my desk and it's not there now. And he's like, oh, Mila had it yesterday. So it's behind the blind in our bedroom. Oh, great. So foundation. I don't prep my skin. I just go straight in with foundation. I know some people use primer, stuff like that. I don't have time for that. And my foundation that I've been using is literally about £6. Buy it on Amazon. It's very hard to get nowadays because they've stopped selling it in the high street stores that they used to sell it in. But it's this one, Bourjois Paris Healthy Mix. And it is the best. It's very light for your skin. In fact, I've only started wearing foundation again in the last few days. I haven't worn foundation since the start of June. I always have like a summer free skin, so I won't wear anything on my skin other than sun cream and moisturiser and daily products obviously, but no like actual makeup at all during summer. So I've only started wearing it the last few days. I like to just, it's nice to just give your skin a break. And also because we're travelling often, number one, it just sweats off anyway, and number two, because I get a bit of a tan when we travel, this becomes too light. So I wear it in shade 55, which is like beige or dark beige or something like that. Honestly, so I can't wear it in summer anyway. But the last few days I have started wearing again, and yeah, it's just lovely. It's really light, it's not thick at all. It's really, really nice. So let's go. Bronzer, I usually use Hoola by Benefit, but it seems Isabelle stole that out of my makeup bag. And the other one is this one, I can't even remember. I think this is a Rimmel one, just a cheap one again, about £4 on Amazon. But Mila's picked it all out yesterday. Thanks, Mila. Thanks so much. And yeah, everyone in the comments is probably going to be saying, well, you shouldn't let her get up there, or you should be keeping an eye on her, or seriously, I wish I was one of you amazing, like, perfect parents that sat staring at your kids 24/7. I wish I was you. I'll never be you. Too much jobs to do. Too many children to look after. I'm joking, guys. I'm joking. Chill out. Chill out. I actually use bronzer as like a blush. I don't put anything else on. I use it as a blush. Bit of colour on the old cheeks. I usually go way over the top and then have to rub it off. That'll do. That will do. And then I use brow zings for my eyebrows. Now my eyebrows are quite well talked about, or they once were. I don't know if they still are, but they once were when we first started vlogging. To be fair, I look back on old videos, I'm like, oh gosh, no wonder why. I'm not the best at doing eyebrows. I was late to the party, you see. I was late to the party with eyebrows, and I didn't do my eyebrows for a long time. And I still can't do them now, basically is what I'm saying. So what I do is I literally just add a bit of colour. Done. That'll do. Because I do have blonde eyebrows, and I once got them, what's it called? Just after Jace was born, I got them, you know, tattooed on basically. And it ruined them, not gonna lie. The lady that did them was lovely, but she was supposed to do a top up after, I can't remember, is it 6 weeks or something? And she just didn't. she just stopped replying to my messages. So I don't know if that's the reason, or if they do just fade and just ruin over time. Either way, I don't mind. There we go. Little bit of brown on and we're done. But what my point before was, because of the tattoo underneath on my skin, it makes my eyebrows now look like grey or yellow or pure white. The only other thing I use, well, not the only other thing, but the second to only other thing, is mascara. I always get so many messages on which mascara I use, and it's always, well, there's two different ones, and I can't remember the name of the other one, but I do always tend to come back to this one, the Lash Sensational. It's really, really good. Again, I get this on Amazon. It's about £6-8, something like that, and it's brilliant. I don't actually have a load of time to do makeup on a morning, and I don't actually wear that much makeup. I do wear makeup every day, most days, but I don't feel like I wear that much. Like, I don't like lather blushes on and different powders and different primers and concealer. I've never worn concealer, never ever. I don't tend to wear that much. A bit of foundation, max, and I don't always wear that. Tiny bit of bronzer, sort my brows out, sort my lashes out, and put a bit of lippy on. Usually takes me 10 minutes, not even. I couldn't live without mascara though, guys. What's your go-to makeup? So what makeup do you love? Would it be your eyebrows? Would it be your lashes? Would it be your lips? Would it be a bit of concealer? I guess everyone has their own insecurities, right? Their own things they don't like about their skin type maybe, or blemishes, or maybe wrinkles, or really blonde eyelashes. I don't necessarily have blonde, do I? No, they're not really blonde. They're quite blonde. But I always grew up thinking my eyes were tiny. They're not actually tiny, they're normal. But I don't know why I always grew up, I think my sister's eye shape were different to mine, and I always felt like I looked like I had really tiny eyes, especially in the morning. So I used to love wearing mascara. Mascara's my thing. I can go without anything else, as long as I've got a bit of mascara on. Eyes, I don't have got a bit of mascara on the top of this eyelid, but I need to wait for it to dry so I can smudge it off. Otherwise, all my eyelashes will end up sticking together. Right, lipstick. I splash out on lipstick, guys. All of these are less than £2 from Shein, and I'm not gonna lie, they're my favourite lipsticks. So I always get them in matte effect, and Adulting in the matte effect is probably my favourite and probably the one I wear most. I did recently just get, I think I wore this one yesterday actually, Self-Made Babe. There's some hilarious names. Look how nice that is. It's so pretty. But today, I'm going for Neutral Territory. Like I said, these are all on Shein, and they cost like £1, £2. But they stay on quite well. They don't last all day, I'm not gonna lie. They definitely don't last all day. But for the price, I just like the colour. So, no lip liner, no faffing about, no moisturiser, because I like the matte effect, which is why I don't wear that Elizabeth Arden moisturiser on a morning. I put it on a night instead. Just get it on, guys. I ain't got time to spend ages mapping my lips out and all that jazz. Right, let's have a little look at some questions. I do obviously still have to get my hair done and get myself dressed, but let's have a look at some questions. Seen this one pop up a few times actually. Is your nana okay? There's no mention of her in ages. She's absolutely fine. I speak to her all the time on the phone. I haven't been up to see her in a little while, but I am going up. Well, I was supposed to be going up this week, but something's popped up and now I have to go up next week. But I'll be going up and seeing her next week. She's absolutely fine. and I do speak to her on the phone lots throughout the week. This is quite a good question. Are you going to start to prep the children's lunches, or I guess all you mean meals, before you go into hospital to have the baby? No, I'm not. I'm not a lunch prepper. Lunch in our house, I think I've spoken about this before actually, not many of us eat lunch. So the younger two, obviously, I'll make them lunch every day. But the older three, they stopped. I mean, Isabel doesn't eat lunch, really. She'll have like maybe some hummus or some carrot sticks or something, or some, I don't know, some fruit or yogurt, or she'll have more like a snack. And then Esmé and Isla, they like to make their own lunch. So I don't know when that started, but it was a literal a good couple of years ago, where they'd say, can we do our own, because we know like how we want it, or we know how much sauce we want in our sandwich, or we don't want a sandwich today, we want this. Whereas Jace and Mila are at the age where they'll just eat whatever I pop down for them. So it's only really Jace and Mila that I physically make lunch for during the day. And it's different obviously each day. It depends on what we're having for dinner with what I'll give them for lunch. It depends on what we've had for breakfast with what I'll give them for lunch. Like if we've had toast for breakfast, I don't think I'd go for a sandwich for lunch. Or sometimes we'll have like a hot lunch. And so if we're having like a lighter dinner, blah, 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 blah. But it's just not something I wouldn't prepare lunch. Like I wouldn't prepare lunch like in advance. It's just there in the fridge. While I'm in hospital, I'm not planning on staying in hospital. With Mila, I came home like the same day, was it? I think it was the same day. So there's plenty of hands in the house to just whip them up a sandwich. Like Chris will be here. He can. I'm not like, I kind of understand if it was like a single parent maybe, or a parent who has a partner who's away all the time or has to get straight back to work, because I definitely feel like I'd need to think more about that if I didn't have Chris at home. But no. And as for prepping meals, I wish I was that person. No, I wish my family were that person, because my family honestly are terrible at reheating anything. Esmé and Chris are the worst, and I'm gonna blame that on the fact that they have a phobia, and it is a genuine phobia. It's not like anything else. Chris is better as he's got older, but he still has that, what's the date on that? Are we sure we can eat this? And he won't enjoy the food. So if I was to, for example, batch cook a spag bol, say I cook a spag bol and there's like at least 2 portions left over, I'm like, oh, pop that in the freezer. And Esmé and Chris literally are like, why, no one's going to eat it? And they won't reheat it and eat it. And I know unless I reheat it, like for Jace or Mila, it won't get eaten. So there's no point me batch cooking meals because Chris and Esmé, they just wouldn't eat it. And I don't know, it's just them. It's just, I think it stems from their fear of, is it definitely hot enough? Is it definitely not past the date that you can eat this? I don't know. So that's why we've never food prepped before. And I won't be again this time. Random question, where is your black sideboard from in your dining area? Black sideboard? Maybe the grey one? Do you mean the dark grey one? Must be, we don't have any other sideboard in there. I can't remember. It was one of these furniture shops and it was mega expensive. I can just remember cringing so bad when we bought it because it matches the dining table and the coffee table, which are solid marble. Honestly, you cannot pick those things up. I knew marble was heavy. I didn't realise how heavy. Like, it's solid. I'm trying to think like how much it was. I think it was about £3,000. Is that expensive? I think that's expensive. I think it's extortion, personally. But it's because it's marble and it was just from a furniture shop. But even if I could remember the name, it was before we even moved into our old house. So we're talking maybe 6 years ago. I don't think they'd still have it for sale. But it's nice. But I kind of feel like sometime soon I want to change that up in there. I don't necessarily love the marble anymore. I do love it, but when we were travelling in Scandinavia at the start of this year, we stayed in a cabin and it had the most perfect dining room table for our family. It wasn't marble, it was like wood, and I absolutely fell in love with it. So I'm still on the hunt for one of those. Baby girl names you love but won't be using. I've already done this in a previous vlog, but a couple of names that I didn't say on that vlog that I do love. One of them is Primrose. Oh my gosh, every time I think of that name, it's just so blooming pretty. I love it, and I forgot about it when I was doing my baby names I love but won't be using. Let me think. I actually love it for a second name. I don't like Chris's second name. And Chris is like, it's definitely, and every time I mention like Primrose, he's like, we can have that as a third name. And I'm like, no, I love it. It's not, I don't like your second name. And you've chose the first name. I'm having the second name. Maybe I could use that as a second name. I don't know, but I do really like the name Primrose. I also really like the name Avia. I would never use that because Esmé called her baby reborn Avia. So now every time I think about that name, I think about reborn dolls, which is not a bad thing, but I do really like that name. But yeah, I really like Primrose at the minute. I've liked it for a long time. And what do you guys think of that name? It's a bit different, right? Primrose. I think it's just stunning. What date is your baby due on? Our baby, people don't like tend to give away like the date that their baby's due on. I always have. And I understand why people don't, but we're actually due on the 13th of, we're due on Friday the 13th, which is so random. I'm about to give you a couple of little randomness things now. Our baby's due on Friday the 13th. I was born on Friday the 13th. Chris was born on Friday the 13th. Our first child together, Esmé, was due on Friday the 13th. His mum was born on Friday the 13th. My sister was born on Halloween, which is also a spooky day. Not 1-3, but 3-1. And this baby, our last baby's due on Friday the 13th. Will she come on that date though? Who knows? Who knows? Another thing that one of you guys pointed out that I didn't even think about, and I actually think it's so cool, is that all of our children, all of our birthdays in our family, wait, let me get this right. So there's 2 months and then a gap. No, I'm not saying that right. Hang on a minute. So for every birthday in our family, it goes 2 months of the year, miss a month, 2 months of the year, miss a month, 2 months of the year, miss a month. So March and April, Jace and Isla, miss May. June and July, Esmé, Chris and Mila, miss August. And then September, October, which will be Isabelle and the baby, miss November. And then December, me. So it's like April, May, oh my gosh, March, April, miss a month. June, July, miss a month. September, October, miss a month. December. Did I explain that right? Hopefully I did. Does Isla still, I'm just going to answer one more very quickly before I get myself finished getting ready. Does Isla still suffer with OCD? No, she doesn't. She did go through a stage during lockdown in 2020, I think it was, where she got really upset because she felt like she was having to repeat things that she was doing. So she'd put a cup down and then she'd feel like she needed to pick it up and put it down again. Or she'd switch a light off in her room and then go downstairs, but then she'd have to come back upstairs to check it was switched off. Just little things like that. And I remember it did not get on top of her, but she did get upset about it. Why do I keep doing this? We sat down, we bought books, we chatted, we supported her by going through all the things she was doing and asking what were making her feel like she needed to go check on them, like does it matter if the light was still on? I got a book and I read about supporting a child with OCD. And then we got her some books to sit down together with her and read through them. And honestly, within a couple of months, it had gone, completely gone. It was just a thing that she had for a couple of months. And I believe it was all down to like the time that we were in and the pressures and the very quick change in circumstances and everything like that all children went through at that time. And I know it didn't affect some kids at all. Didn't affect Isabelle, didn't affect Esmé, I don't believe, but it did affect some children to a degree, and I feel like Isla was one of them, but she's never suffered with anything like that since then. Okay, I'm dressed. I'll do a bump update at the end. There's a few people asking on the questions for that. Have you decided on a name? Yes, we have. Are you pregnant? Who's the dad? Will you be filming the birth? I can never answer this question because it's always one of those things that you just never know how you're going to be in the moment. We have filmed Jason and Mila's births and I'm so glad we have that footage. I'm so glad we have it because it's such a special moment. I don't know, I just think it's lovely to have, but you never know like how a labour's going to go. And my labours were quite quick, especially with Mila. It was only like 3 hours or something. So you just never know. How many weeks are you now? 32. We will obviously be filming the birth if we can, but I'd also like a water birth this time. I'm not sure how that would work with filming. Are you watching Women's World Cup? No, not because we don't support women, not because we don't support... We're just not a sporty family. It just doesn't interest us. I wouldn't watch any football. I wouldn't watch any football, golf, darts, snooker. They're all just the same to me. They're just not my thing. They're not our thing. Chris would never watch football. It bores him. The only football that we have in our family is playing in the garden with Jace with a football. And that's it, basically. Good luck to them, though. Was this pregnancy unplanned? No, it was not. It was very much planned. Can you do Esmé's room tour? That will be up to Esmé. I will ask her if she fancies doing one of those. How do you feel now this is your last pregnancy? I actually answered this on yesterday's vlog, but I do feel really sad. I do feel sad, but I feel selfish saying that because I know I'm really lucky to be able to have experienced 6 easygoing, healthy pregnancies. It's really, really, really an achievement and something that I know that a lot of women would do anything for. But it doesn't take away that I do still feel that niggling, oh, I'll never get to do this again or something like that. But at the same time, I'm content with my 6 children, for sure. Have you ever fancied a home birth? I answered this question as well recently in my pregnancy Q&A. Did think about home birth for about 10 minutes, and I just don't think it's for me. It's not even necessarily to do with the fact that what if something was wrong with the baby when she's born, because I know that that's quite rare. It's not necessarily that. It's more to do with, I actually like the hospital. I know lots of people have anxiety and fears about going to hospitals. I'm not one of them. I do like going there and having that. It's always felt like a special experience for me. It's never been a negative. It's always felt like something positive. And I feel like when you've got so many children at home, like I have, it's just going to sound really mean when I say this, and I don't mean it to sound mean. I know some people take it the wrong way, but those people will take everything I say the wrong way. But I like to get away and break away from that and have that time to just focus on the new baby, and even if it's only for a few hours. I do tend to come straight home. Maximum I've stayed in is 3 days, I think, but that was with Isabelle. She was my first baby and I was breastfeeding. But with the others, I've come out after 1 day, I think. So I do come home straight away, but I still like that 1 day. I like having that special 1 day with just me and Chris and our newborn baby, being able to completely focus on that, especially because Mila's so young, Jace is so young, giving all of them that same. And I feel like as well, if we were at home, I feel like I don't know how the labour would go, and I wouldn't want to be in my bedroom screaming in pain and Jace and Mila wanting to come to me, but me being like, no. I just put too much pressure on me, I feel like. And I spoke about this with my health visitor, actually, my midwife, and she said that it could even, maybe not, but she said it could even give Jace and Mila, with them being so young, a negative first impression of the new baby, because, new baby hurt mummy type thing. They don't fully understand it, and that just solidified it for me, basically. That's not necessarily going to happen, but my mind was definitely already made up, and that kind of just solidified it. Like, yeah, actually, they might just resent the baby for, you never know. I'm getting so rude. Is it harder going from 0 to 1 child or 1 to 2? Nothing can prepare you from going from no children to 1. I don't think that after 2 children or 3 children it's any different, because you're used to busy schedules, busy life, you're used to it. So people say to me, how can you go from 5 to 6? And I'm like, I don't know, I've not gone from 5 to 6, but how can you go from 4 to 5? It didn't change much. It helped, in fact, because Jace had a younger playmate to play with, and it didn't feel overwhelming or too much. Or I feel like when you get to a certain point, it just doesn't get any harder, really. But going from no responsibilities to the responsibility of a whole human, especially if you're doing it on your own, is big. That was a shock. The most amazing shock in the whole world, but still a shock. Okay, I'm just going to quickly fly through a few. I did DM you, but please can you let me know where Esmé's Taylor Swift birthday presents were from? Loads of questions about this. Pretty much all of her Taylor Swift birthday presents were from Amazon. The hoodie, Amazon. The makeup bag thing, Amazon. The tote bag, Amazon. One of her other hoodies, Etsy. T-shirts, Etsy. Pretty much that's where all of her presents were from. Why are all the guinea pigs in Isla's room? She seemed really scared of them, because the guinea pigs were Isla's pet. Isabelle wanted a cat. It's not happening. Esmé wants a dog. It's not happening. Isla wanted guinea pigs. That also wasn't happening until Granny came over and said, oh, I'll take you for guinea pigs. I don't regret it one bit, but they were kind of Isla's thing. And yes, Isabel and Esmé got one too, but it was kind of like saying Esmé could have a dog, but then saying it was going to live in Isabel's bedroom, or saying Isabel can have a cat, but it was going to stay in Isla's bedroom. They can only stay in one room. It's not fair to split the guinea pigs up. And it was only fair that they stayed in Isla's. She's not terrified of them. She's 11 and she was a bit nervous to hold them to start with, but she absolutely loves them so much. So that is why they're in Isla's room. Will you be doing a nursery tour reveal? Will you be showing us doing the nursery? Quite a few questions on that. Yes, we will. We're going to be starting that as well very soon. I was going to buy the furniture for this room in the next couple of days, but something's come up, so we won't be here to take the delivery of them. But I'm definitely going to be ordering the furniture next week. I can't wait. There's also a question, or there's two I've seen, I think, asking if Jace will be starting school in September. No, he won't. My decision is final and made up on that question. I know we've been receiving that question for like 3 years now. Will you be sending Jace to nursery? Will you be sending Jace to school? And I didn't know. That's why I didn't answer the question. I didn't know how I'd feel about that. My children have always gone to school, aside from when lockdown happened and we took them out. And I didn't know what I wanted for Jace. I didn't know what would be best for him, in his parent opinion, not a stranger opinion, in my opinion. And I've decided against sending Jace to school for my own reasons. It's a massive debate that always leads to people being nasty, but I don't agree with the school system. I don't agree with, a square child having to fit into a circular box. I don't agree with them all having to be at the same stage at the same time. I believe I can homeschool my children better. And I'm not saying that I think I'm better than a teacher, because I'm not. I know that teachers train for years and years. I also know a lot of teachers that have left the teaching system because they also don't agree with the way schools are right now. But if Jace is in a class and he's struggling in a certain subject and he's in school, that's tough. Like, it's just tough. He moves past that. And I know some of you guys are saying, well, you just do that subject when he gets home. You don't always know about it until it's too late. And by then the confidence is broken and their inside creativity is gone. And I don't agree with all aspects of schooling. And I know it's quite a controversial topic, but obviously Jace is my child and I'm doing what I think's best for him, and he will not be going to school. He will be homeschooled until he requests otherwise. Will you be getting a new pram for this new baby? I don't think I will, I know lots of people think it's so exciting buying a new pram, and I also have been there, but I think it's like wasted money. Like, I've got a Bugaboo double that is actually broke now in one place, but I just tend to use a sling more anyway with a new baby. And because I can drive, I don't tend to, it's like I'm not doing school runs, so I need a pram to do school run and things like that. I just don't think I'll get use out of a new pram. So I don't think I'm going to buy one. There's quite a few questions about the girls and money. And I'm guessing that's because they've been on a few shopping trips this week. So how much do you give the girls per week? And then another one for the girls' shopping trips. Do you give them money or is it their own? The girls have had savings accounts since they were born. They weren't much put in those savings accounts when they were born because we didn't earn much money. But since we started YouTube, obviously, and we started earning more money, the girls got savings accounts. So they have separate ones. So they have a savings account that they can't access until they're 18. And we can't access those either. It's like what's it called? It's an account none of us can access until we can put money in, but we can't take money out until they're 18. Jace and Mila also have one of those. But then the older three girls also have, Jace and Mila don't have these, but the older three girls also have another bank account that it's kind of like a savings account. Not really a savings account. It's kind of like a pocket money account, would you say, where we put money in at the start of every month and then they can save that money or they can spend it. They tend to save their money. My girls don't tend to like to spend their own money, which is just hilarious. It's probably because I'm so tight and I don't know, but they tend to save it. But as they're getting older now and they're able to do things like go shopping on their own, which they've really enjoyed doing, they have started spending some of that money. So it's not like it's their own money basically. It's their own money that is in their own accounts that we put in there monthly for them, basically. What are the children's favourite books at the moment? Mila's favourite book at the moment is one that we took on the van trip. I can't remember the actual name of the book, but it's about animals that make certain noises, and she won't even let me read that book to her now. She reads it to me. She's like memorised the whole book, and she absolutely loves doing the noises of the animals. And she's also got a Wheels on the Bus book that like pulls out and has like funky features on it, and that's her favourite. We read that about 5 times a day. Jace still really likes The Snail and the Whale. He likes Room on the Broom, The Gruffalo. I'm trying to think what other books we've read recently with Jace. He's got like a dinosaur one that does like different, it does different things depending on which, it's like Dinosaur at Christmas, the dinosaur who pooed, the dinosaur at Halloween, things like that. And he loves those. He loves anything to do with monsters and Halloween-y type spooky stories. He really enjoys those. Who else? Isla still really likes Roald Dahl books. And she's also got a diary that's like, it's like a book, but it's like a diary. It's like a journal type diary book. So it's like, it's hard to explain. It's like from the war, but she can write in it, but there's also diary from other children in it as well. And she loves reading that. She reads that like most nights. Esme is reading her Bridgerton books that she got for her birthday, and Isabella can't keep up on what she's reading, I'm afraid. I don't know. I did get a massive long list of books that she's requested for her 18th birthday. Someone said they're struggling with morning sickness at 7 weeks pregnant. Is there anything you can do? I wish I could give you a magic formula down this camera, but I can't, because there's just nothing that helped me. If you Google things to help morning sickness, it will bring up the typical like sip lemonade, ginger biscuits. I genuinely feel like though, it's not one will fit all in that subject. None of them worked for me, absolutely nothing. I just had to ride it out. But I feel for you, I really do, because I know how deliberating feeling sick or being sick all day feels, and it's not nice. Hi Ella. Ella's just come in to brush her hair. She's got out of the shower. Must have for new mums. I'll probably do a little vlog on that, maybe, or a little reel on Instagram. So make sure you follow me on Instagram, Sarah Ingham Official. I got a lovely message from someone during pregnancy and after pregnancy. Have you been super emotional? I'm a first-time mum. I'd cry over the most random things whilst I was pregnant, e.g. not being able to get myself a Taco Bell because it was too far away. I'd cry over Taco Bell. I'm now nearly 4 months postpartum and still cry sometimes when I'm just looking at my little boy. I think I'm going crazy. It's completely normal. It's definitely normal. It's all of those gorgeous hormones that us women get. I don't think I cry randomly. Like, I've never been out and just cried over something. Something has to set me off, but I'm definitely more emotional. Like, if I see a reel that's, you know, like they're like dads coming home from like being away, they make me cry my eyes out so bad. Somebody winning like the X Factor or getting the golden buzzer, I'll just be sat there crying my eyes out at that. Or Britain's Got Talent, should I say. Things like that set me off and make me cry for definite. But or when I get angry, so usually if I'm having an argument, say with someone, say I have an argument with, I can't really even say Chris because me and Chris never argue, but if I was like, I don't know, if Chris does something that frustrates me, usually I just be like, I'm so mad about that, but I'll just be like, it'll make me cry instead. So I'm definitely more emotional, for sure. No pregnancy cravings still. A few people are asking about that. I've not had any at all this pregnancy. I don't have any now. The thought of eating ice is quite appealing to me, but I don't think I'm craving that. But when I think about it, like right now I'm thinking about eating ice, I now could go and eat some ice because I'm thinking about it. I don't know if that would still be classed as a craving though. And my friends are about to arrive, so I am going to end this here, but I've got to end on one last question, which is, are you excited for Vlogmas? Can we just pretend we're not still in August? Because I'm so excited for Vlogmas this year. So excited. I can't wait. I love Christmas. I love the festive season. I love everything about it. And it's just going to be so nice in the run up to Christmas this year with a snuggly little newborn. And yeah, I feel really lucky at the moment and just really excited that I've got so much to look forward to. It's like my favourite time of year anyway. So throw in one of the biggest gifts you can ever receive in your whole life. And it's just like the most perfect thing ever, and I can't wait. But I am also looking forward to Halloween. Halloween's JC's favourite holiday. As soon as Christmas is over, he's asking when it's Halloween again, and I really want to make that special for them this year because obviously I'm pregnant and I will have just given birth, so I know a lot of my time will be spent on the new baby. I'm going to try and really be prepared for Halloween this year so that it's still special for all of them. I don't usually do Halloween baskets. I say I don't usually. There's been years where I've gone way over the top Halloween. I've decorated the whole house, given them big baskets full of gifts. And I remember lots of you guys saying, I don't know why you're doing that. You become spoiled. We'll expect it every year. They don't expect it every year. And in fact, I've not done it for like 3 years. And they've not had any less of a good Halloween. But I would like to do it for them this year, especially for Jace. So I'm collecting bits for like a nice Halloween basket. Typically, some parents will give their siblings like a gift from the new baby. I'm not doing that. Instead, I'm doing them like a nice Halloween basket each. And like really going to prepare so that on actual Halloween, it'll be a really nice day with lots of treats and surprises. But yeah, that's it for this little video. I feel like I've just chatted non-stop for 2 hours, and now I'm going to chat non-stop for the next like 4 hours with my friends, so that's going to be lovely. But thank you all so much for watching. I'll do a bump update. Here we go. This is baby girl at 32 weeks. Absolutely massive, but I do love my bump. I do love it. It's big. And delightful. And I'm sorry if this vlog was a bit of a disappointment because it wasn't the usual daily. Yeah, we're going to be taking the day off actual vlogging today. Thank you all so much for watching. Any questions, pop them down below. Any opinions on anything I've said, obviously feel free to share them in a nice way, being respectful of others. Yeah, just be nice. It's not nice arguing and being negative and I guess ridiculing people because we don't all feel the same. It's just so normal to not feel the same as everyone. Like I got a comment saying like the curtains in our bedroom, like I love the idea but I really hate those curtains. The colour's horrible. I don't know why you choose that colour. Which is fine because that's just her opinion on the colour of the curtains. I love them though. Can you imagine, 7 million homes all looking exactly the same with the same floor and the same carpet and the same decor and the same curtains? It'd be so boring if we all felt the same over everything. Anyway, yes, thank you all so much for watching. I'm having to end this vlog now on my phone and it's rubbish quality compared to the camera. So we'll see you back here tomorrow for a normal daily vlog at 5 PM. Good night, guys.